Hello everyone, welcome to another section. In our previous section, we talked and created a VPC, our custom VPC, which is titled Project VPC. So now, today we are going to be creating our subnet and link it to VPC. Looking at our previous created VPC, you see it sitting right there with a default VPC that was automatically created by AWS. So now instead of starting for subnets here, we can see it here. So we are going to create it as a nesting and connect it to the VPC. This is a default subnet which is created by AWS, the same way you have your default VPC created. But we're going to ignore this and go ahead and create our custom subnet. So this is where the connection starts. We're going to choose our created VPC by clicking here. You see the default, then you see you're going to choose our custom VPC for your VPC. So this is our side block. We're going to leave it at that because that was what we configured. You can give a name for easy identification. I tell you that it has nothing to do with the functionality. It's just the identification. It's easier for you to know, oh, this is the public based on how you titled it. So we are going to call this a public subnet. Public subnet. A subnet is simply a smaller section of our VPC. Remember our apartment analogy. If the VPC is an entire apartment, the subnet is one of the rooms. So we are creating the room for resources that need internet access, such as our web servers. So let's create the VPC. So here we're going to choose our availability zone. Availability zone is simply where you want this your VPC, this your subnet to sit on. I want this public subnet to sit on EU01. So I'm going to leave this at EU01. Our CIDR block are selected. So, and this I will assign the CIDR block to be 10.0 dots. I'm going to leave it at 1.0/24. This is actually the range. And you can go ahead and click create here. But instead of doing this over and over again, you could add a new subnet. So we call this private. You can call the second one private subnet. Private subnet. I'm going to leave this sitting at notes. This is 1B. I'm going to leave it at 1B. I'm going to fill this again. I'm going to choose at 0 points. The other one was .1. I'm going to leave this at 0 points. 2 dots /24. Because this subnet will eventually contain resources that shouldn't be directly accessed or accessible from the internet, like databases. So that is why it's at this range. Now the VPC has two separate sections, one public and one private. Then you now go ahead and creating two subnets, one sitting publicly with a different CIDR block and the other are private with a different CIDR block. Next on our list is to create the internet gateway. So you see that in the next video. I don't want to actually make this video longer or long, so I'm going to go ahead and start in the next video by creating the internet gateway. So see you in the next video. Bye.